couple of questions. So I sit on the Labor Committee, and recently there was a rather heated debate around ghost job postings, which is, I guess, they're posted up there with no end date. Is this something that you, through the Department of Labor, you're hearing is like a real problem in terms of workforce development? Like people finding jobs, like these ghost postings that are out there?
I don't know if I would phrase it as something that I'm hearing is a problem, but certainly there is an acceptance that in the industry, a lot of companies will post job notices for positions that aren't really there. And a lot of times it's to attract investors, it's to gauge interest in the public as to these positions, what salaries may be requested. So certainly it's a practice that's engaged in that I'm aware of, yeah.
But you haven't heard of it like preventing people, like that people aren't sitting around waiting for these ghost jobs to materialize in their quest for a job?
In my short time in the department, I have not heard that.
Okay.
I have a feeling that after this, I may start hearing about it.
You probably will. You probably will. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
Yeah. In this budget, the governor is proposing to eliminate $750,000 for the youth build program, $500,000 for Access NJ, $350,000 for Progress 360, and $75,000 for a Camden Youth Services Commission. These are all job training programs. So as you talk about workforce development, how does that reconcile with cutting these programs?
Sure. Thank you. And so those are all individual programs that I think were only added last year. And the governor,
Some have been around for a while.
Well, on the Access New Jersey one, that's not necessarily a job training program. Access New Jersey, through its provider members, certainly provides a number of jobs to people with disabilities, and they do phenomenal work. That appropriation has only been for the last 4 years, and I believe it's a pass-through. I'm not sure that there's anything connected with that. What I can tell you, though, is that through a separate line, our department continues to fund directly to those providers. Now, over the course of the last 3 years, that funding has increased from $33 million to $46.7 million. And that $46.7 million has been steady for the last 3 years. The year before that, it was 44. And as I indicated before, they're at approximately at about 68% funded capacity, which means even with the current number of dollars, we can afford to fund more seats, more positions for people with disabilities. And so in that sense, I think that the monies that we have are adequate to continue funding the job training programs that we have and to make sure that these programs continue to train people.
So even though Access may not have its funding, the folks that would benefit from the Access program will still have resources available?
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
Very good. The next one for you, just going back a couple years in your budget documents, it seems that your department, and I know you've only been here a short period of time, is averaging about almost 275 to 300 million in federal funds that are unexpended year over year. So like in FY 22, it says that you had 277 million unexpended. 23 was 271, 24 was 301, and in FY 25 was 313 million. Can you just give us some insight into that?
Yeah, I would have to get that to you through the chair because I'm not aware of us not expending federal funds. I think there may have been one time with some of the ARPA funds there was an issue, but traditionally our department works very hard to make sure that we expend all of those federal dollars, and we do that. We keep very close eye on that, and we do that every year. So I'm not sure the source of those numbers, but I'm happy to look at it.
So just
and
one
get
that
it
if you could get back to us on.
Sure.
It's pages D273 to D274, employment and training. It says FY 22 you had 179 million available. You expended 120. You carried over 59.6 million.
Okay.
And then it goes year over year. Then it goes from following year it was 58 million, 52 million, and then 64 million.
Okay.
So
yeah, no, we'll take a look at those specific numbers to get back to you. Again, I'm not aware of us not expending those federal dollars because we make it a point to do that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Certainly.
That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Thank you.